Hello, resident spoiler fan here, and spoiler warning for the rest of the video, okay? Anyways, I really have to take a shit, so I'll be back. I'm making a Persona 5 video.
I just couldn't shake the feeling that this was Persona without the heart.
Persona 5 Royal was a game that had a lot to live up to. After the massive success of Persona 5, an enhanced version needed to be truly great in order to live up to the hype of the original version. I mean, if we look at previous Persona re-releases, well, most fans liked them. There was some debate whether or not they were truly better, specifically with Persona 4 Golden, as the story content added into that game was pretty mixed. Thankfully, Royal wouldn't fall into the same pitfall that so many Atlus re-releases fall into, the pitfall of being shit. Persona 5 Royal would add lots of quality of life and gameplay changes that for the most part improved the game for the better. Sure, it made the difficulty way too easy, but for the most part, it was an improvement on all ends. The baton pass rework, Kichijoji, Jizz, and all this made the game so much more fun than the original. Not to say that Persona 5 is bad, but there's truly no reason to play the original. But Atlus also decided to add new characters and story content to Royal. This is a very scary concept to walk on. Taking a complete story and adding new characters and plot points could ruin the pacing, or better yet, make the original game's story mean less. And if the characters are uninteresting, then you get a Persona 4 Golden extra story content situation.
And nobody wants to be a Persona 4 Golden extra story content situation.
However, thankfully the scriptwriters got cooking, and the new characters are mostly good. Mariki and Kasumi were the major new characters, and they're both fantastic and felt pretty natural to the main plot. They especially exceeded in the third semester, which ended up probably being the most interesting narrative in the whole game. But today we're not talking about Mariki, we're talking about Kasumi, the gymnast and first year at Shujin Academy. Let's begin.
I have no fucking words.
Kasumi gets introduced in the first 10 minutes as this mysterious girl, who helps you out during the casino escape sequence. This is fine, I guess. It has to be purposely brief and non-descriptive, since it was kind of forced into the intro of the game, but I guess you could do worse, and it is pretty cool as a returning player. From there, the intro sequence plays up as usual, we get arrested and get convicted for 18 trillion different felonies, and we get to the actual game, which is the flashback.
Still don't know why they decided to do this.
We get the first chronological greeting of Kasumi at the subway station. We get a general gist of her personality. Kasumi is very polite, cheerful, and kind, who is a little clumsy when it comes to social interaction and activities. She's an extremely talented gymnast who earns a scholarship to Shujin Academy based off of her peers' skill at being a gymnast. She's decent at cooking, and I promise I'm not reading the wiki. She also has a garbage connection on her phone, so there's that. Probably using like Boost Mobile or some shit. Soon we start to learn her thoughts on the Fan of Thieves. She believes that the Fan of Thieves are not good for society, as they can cause laziness and stop people from dealing with their problems themselves.
This fucking girl. I mean, look at yourself.
Anyways, in October, Kasumi and Joker come across a new palace, where Kasumi finally awakens to her persona. But even with this new power, Kasumi sticks to her guns, not wanting to join the Fan of Thieves. Soon we reach the starting point of the game, where she saves us from the shadows that are pretty fucking free, I'm not gonna lie. From there, there's not much left for Kasumi in the main plot. This is kind of an issue with Kasumi in the base game story of Royal. She kind of just does nothing. It's not as bad as Marie from Persona 4 Golden, but overall, it's not the best inclusion. I wish maybe she had more scenes hanging out with the gang. And yes, she isn't a fan of Thief, but still, I think they could have easily came up with a reason for her befriending the gang during the base game plot. Thankfully, Atlus would redeem themselves because Kasumi gets a lot of time to shine in the third semester. If you don't know, after killing Yaldabaoth, Akechi comes back alive and decides to testify for Joker in order to get his criminal record eradicated. This is weird considering that the last time we saw him, he was about to look like Combo from Breaking Bad. Dead as hell. Anyways, Joker gets off the hook and reunites with his friends. Futaba's mother is alive, Haru's father is alive, and Morgana wants to fuck Joker. Wait, I actually think that's normal. However, soon when Akechi meets up with Joker, Akechi reveals that he is aware of all the weird things happening in this reality. And soon, they contact Kasumi, who also remembers the original reality. They then discover that the palace we saw back in October belongs to Maruki, who created the palace as a product of him changing reality. As we progress through the palace, Kasumi breaks down mentally, until Maruki reveals that Kasumi's sister was killed in a car accident, one that Kasumi takes the blame for. She went into a deep depression, unable to cope with the loss of her sister. This also triggered a problem already present in her, an inferiority complex. Kasumi has always felt inferior to her sister, who is much better at gymnastics than she ever was. Even though Kasumi's sister never had any problems helping Kasumi get better at things that she was already good at, and had really no ill will towards her. So when Kasumi seeks therapy with Maruki, Maruki uses his persona's ability to grant Kasumi's wish to be her sister. So yes, I should finally reveal that Kasumi isn't actually named Kasumi. Her real name is Sumire, and her sister's name is actually Kasumi. So when Sumire wishes to be more like Kasumi, she adopts all her personality traits and talent, and also goes by Kasumi. However, she only believes she's Kasumi. Nobody else is aware of that, which is why they just call her Yoshizawa, her last name throughout the entire game. It's one of the many examples of foreshadowing her true identity. Anyways, Maruki offers Sumire an option. Either she can accept the current reality and continue living as Kasumi, or assist Joker and Akechi to destroy the reality to bring back the old true one. Eventually, Sumire would accept her real self and commit to self-improvement and honoring her sister's legacy, but not literally be her sister. Soon, we game end Maruki, and the original reality comes back. We then get the ending cutscene, and I knew it. I guess she's gonna fuck us. And that will wrap up Sumire in the main story. And she plays a pretty important role in the third semester and gets a lot of development. Her arc kind of feels like a character arc in Persona 4. I mean, she literally has to accept her true self. However, I like this. I think it works really well in Persona 5 and is an interesting switch up from most of the other characters. Now with that done and over with, we gotta get to her confidant, which is set up kind of weirdly. The first 5 ranks are unlocked before the third semester and are centered around you helping her get better at gymnastics or learning about her personality and family. The first ranks are mainly an introduction to her, which is fine, but not really that interesting. But I get it. They can't spoil too much because of the third semester, but still, I wish they told a more compelling narrative here than the first 5 ranks. But when the third semester begins, we unlock the next 5 ranks, which are much more compelling. From exploring her relationship with her sister or dealing with the trauma she experienced, the last 5 ranks take a confidant that was kind of like a 5 out of 10 to a much more solid 8 out of 10. The themes presented in the second half are much more interesting than anything present in the first half, and Sumire is the only confidant to admit their love for Joker before Joker can. I feel like this makes the romance route feel less awkward and more natural, but to me, the only romance I give a shit about is of course Ryuji. Now, how good is Sumire when she's put into a Detroit neighborhood? Well, pretty good. Sumire specializes in dealing a metric ton of damage using bless skills and physical skills. Swords Dance deals colossal physical damage and a really good late game physical attack, while Kogan, whatever it's called, also deals good bless damage. Sumire also gains access to Charge, which is one of the best skills in the game, multiplying your next physical or gun attack by 2.5 times the damage, which goes very well with Sword Stance. Brace Step is a pretty decent support skill, increasing the party's crit chance, but in my opinion, you're better off just buffing damage. Dairahan is a good healing spell, and Vorpal Blade is broken beyond belief. Severe physical damage to all enemies is just too good to pass on. Finally, her third awakening skill is Masquerade, which deals severe physical damage to one foe twice. This is cracked, especially if you're using Charge, so make sure to take advantage of that. Overall, Sumire is very good at dishing out physical and blessed damage, while also having solid utility. She pairs very well with Akechi, who uses curse damage. So overall, Sumire is a really good party member.
In my opinion, Sumire was a great addition to Royal, and it's really nice to see that Atlus didn't put a dog-shit character into their re-release. She gets great development, good amount of screen time, and is overall an interesting character. And that will end this video. Thank you for watching this Persona 5 video, Maruki video next, and remember, stay on Grindr or get off the grind. Goodbye.